reality. And the only place you should trust to bring that dream to life is Cabinet Express Online. Schedule your free design consultation today with Cabinet Express Online. Call 256-289-7355. That's 289-7355. And online at CabinetExpressOnline.com. Design your custom kitchen today with Cabinet Express Online.
This is News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN.
Living on a wall, living in our cars, and we barely win the street. Come on, hey! Have much money, barely made enough to survive. Got out on stage. Sing it to me, Boston, come on. Welcome back to Boomer and the Beard. We are your morning talk show rock and roll band. No doubt about that. We are the Motley Crew, without question. The bearded band. Anyways, we're cool, okay? We're cool.
Three of us.
We're cool, okay? Ronald joining us from Virginia. We've got Ty.
What's up?
We've got Jonah. We've got producer Connor. Master Controls is Bro Montana. I've got my snowboarding goggles on like I like it because, after all, it's snowing in Alabama, and we get set this morning to appreciate Rush Limbaugh and who he was. And Rush's wife was able to get on his show yesterday and share the news that he had passed on, and so. We've been talking. I mean, look, he went off the air on February the 3rd, and so many people speculated. Dale Jackson speculated, called it that this was it, right? And so it is sad. So we kind of saw it coming, right? And so it's no fun. It's no bueno. It definitely sucks. But Rush Limbaugh did a lot of great things, whether you agree with his opinion or not. You can agree or disagree with Rush Limbaugh for many things. I don't see any evidence to that. He held conservative ideals. He was, look, he was a talk radio host. His job required him to be polarizing in every way, and he did so very well. But what he did, our tribute, while you might not agree with everything he said or every opinion he expressed, you cannot deny that Rush paved the way for common sense this country was built on. As we mourn his loss, we also thank him for paving the path that we are walking as a concept of ideals Rush so passionately expressed. Rest easy, Rush. Connor, you're young. I don't know how much Rush Limbaugh you've actually heard. I mean, I know you know a lot of people in that world. So I'm curious as to what experience or exposure you had to Rush Limbaugh.
Not much, really. Yeah. Pretty much just what we have on this station in the break.
Oldest one in the room. No offense or anything, but what was your what is your exposure to Rush? I mean, I know you're
this discussion.
But the Mason-Dixon line is irrelevant in the nation's capital.
Ain't irrelevant, man.
And we moved that line a couple of years ago, so y'all are
absolutely.
Southern Virginia is
as redneck as they get.
Yeah.
I mean, they kissing their cousins and stuff. But
yeah, for Rush Limbaugh, I mean, bro, I remember driving my my dad's 1981 Ford pickup truck, listening to Rush every single time that radio station was on.
Like you couldn't get away from him.
Yeah, he was always on, very conservative. So, I have mixed feelings about Rush. I really liked also a lot of controversy around him and some of the things he said, right? So, there's always that balance act. And, I think there was a lot of times where I loved exactly what Rush said. There were some times that I was like, but I would say that, yeah, exactly. I'm always, and, from that perspective, being a kind of a best, so to say, a question that he needs to be, at very least, even people on the other side should say, you know what?
About that, because I've seen some, I'm sorry, I can't really trying to read the computer here with the goggles on, but
maybe that's just your brain power. Well, that's a nose joke, I get.
Because you got a big nose, right? So you should be able to smell.
I do have a big nose.
Sorry.
Goodness great. I don't even feel like a man. Like, I mean,
And you still got one more day.
and I'm trying to grow my beard out. I don't. You guys haven't
Yeah.
even. No. It looks like
You
5.
just look like your face is dirty.
I know, like right here.
Yeah, it looks like you need to wash your face.
Like y'all's
Anyways,
face threw up awesomeness. My face threw up like.
We'll spend the entire show on Rush. We certainly appreciate Rush for what, but like you said, there are. I don't know that I agree with how he expressed his views all the time. Right, like some of the things he said, it very much Trumpian in a way. Right, I mean, expressing your views in a way that are polarizing just to be polarizing, without question, respect, is that he championed a cause passionately and aggressively. He found something that he believed in, and he was all the way in, and he championed the conservative movement. Again, in this country, you ought to be able to agree and disagree. You should be able to be cool with each other and disagree. In fact, we are. Like, there's Ty and I wouldn't agree on everything we say, but I mean, no one in here. You know why? Because we're in on everything they say. We all would have minutia or small parts of our story that it was at some point in time, and in order to get there, we're unified. So as a conservative, that's how I respect him. Now let's look at it from a liberal perspective. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of all these liberals that I saw last night. Whoa.
Well, death is what all of us deserve, right? In the
That's
Christian
a fact.
community.
That is a fact, and
So
a
it's
much
like,
worse death, and a much worse death. Were absolved from that sin. Liberal perspective, I don't understand why. Like, let's look at Pelosi. Okay, I cannot stand Nancy Pelosi. I think she is an intellectually bankrupt human being. I think she is a propaganda concern for her voting bloc at all. But she's a heck of a tactician, and she has managed to execute some really effective movements for the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
She piloted this voting concept. I mean, everything I can say, like, here's the crazy part. Nancy Pelosi, I don't like you at all. I think you are a terrible woman. Yeah, I can say that. I'm positive.
Very judgy.
Yeah, but that's okay because he said judge them by their fruit, right? And so just looking at her lack of desire for children to have any protection under the law until they're literally, late-term abortion, all that, she's probably not in a right relationship with the Lord. And so I would pray for her. I hope that Republicans and Democrats can say, okay, politically, our common goal is people. The common goal is moving forward. The common goal is hope. It's joy. It's prosperity. You should be able to look at somebody from the other side. Pelosi has single-handedly driven more people away from Donald Trump than anybody. So she hurt me as a conservative more than any other politician in the last 20 years, probably. Single-handedly.
And your point is interesting because if you compare and contrast how in this stuff, and then CNN, it kind of goes through very quickly, talks about Limbaugh being offered, and all the bad things he did.
Yeah, it's career. But what I wish we could do is we could all sit around the fire and say, man, you might not miss him when he's gone, but certainly can look at what he did and say, and he led the way with passion and excitement that I wish I can. Yeah. Rush, rest easy, brother. We will.
This is News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. News starts.
And everything has been closed just to find blankets because we needed extra.
Expected to continue. The mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, is angry and frustrated.
We have seen families, for example, who have gotten in their cars and used
cold, icy weather. Congress holds a hearing today about the trading platform Robinhood and the recent action on Wall Street surrounding GameStop. Mission to Mars. After a 7-month journey, the rover Perseverance will land this afternoon. Grand Slam singles title. She lost to Naomi Osaka.
What are you talking about?
The cookie dough. You've been all yo. Get your own dough with Cookie Dough Magic. Now open cup, milkshake, and more. All safe to eat with no baking required. We have 12 delicious flavors. It's the best of both worlds. Delicious cookie dough, and it's safe to eat and more. It's so good. Get yours today at Cookie Dough Magic. Now open on Jefferson Street North in downtown Huntsville.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of My Pillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed it as an individual, regardless of sleep position. My Pillow will I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year offer ever.
Buy your premium queen-sized only $5 more for the king size. Go to mypillow.com/radio specials. Use promo code.
We call this the Ballad of Elizabeth Warren. Here we go. One of a kind downtown. Come on, here we go. Zach Walker, your big, beautiful bearded host. I thought I'd get a little bit more on the Ballad of Elizabeth Warren, but hey, what can you? So we could run it back. I could start the song over, and then I could say, no.
Just go back to break and we'll.
So, here we go. And celebrity news about someone's gonna have to walk me through some of this. Dwayne the executive orders I'm signing. No, I would not vote for The Rock. Maybe even to the Wrestling Hall of Fame, but for president, probably not.
Why? Like, what are some of his views?
He's a Trump-hating liberal.
No, I've never heard some of his views. So
Which is really interesting to me. How these rich people are so, and the system you want to vote in literally wants to strip it from you all the way down to nothing.
And I think whenever they get into a lot of the political stuff, I honestly I'm
on their own Twitter, like the way social media is set up now, they have to tell you when it's a payday. Love of God, I'm a little podunk talk show in the middle of nowhere, and I've got to put that on my post about 360 Fitness.
Well, to publicly put out a statement
because that's
or
what
video.
all
paid as much as they think it's their duty.
Bingo. I think it's called self-importance syndrome.
Keeping your job.
They think they are so freaking important.
Job security.
That no, it's not even because you've got some actors like the mod thing to do, the woke thing to do. Yeah, it is. You know what? You're right.
And some other conservative celebrities put together their own little Trump support group.
Now, Jennifer Aniston can say whatever she wants.
Oh yeah,
on either side of the aisle.
She's a conservative.
I didn't think so.
They do not
not even like a fine wine.
I think there's, but I mean, even me, I feel like I've been successful in my job as a recruiter, and sometimes I get into the point
their own kind.
Yeah, if you will let them. Our problem as Republicans is we've not allowed them to. We've given them plenty. We won't just let them. Like if you would just shut up, if Trump would have just shut up and let Biden talk, he would have won the election. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said, quote, "I would consider a presidential run in the future if that's what the people wanted." See, there it is. Well. If the people demand a Rock presidency, I guess I'll have to give it to him.
He needs to give us the people's eyebrow first.
Well, it goes off of the politicians are using his status and the people that follow him because it's like they may not like what they have to what I'm doing. Then, the sheep kind of follow that, the herd back into, well, if he's doing that, and he does all of these things because you see them as what you want to see is PR stuff of what's being put out there and what you like, then
he would be the best looking president we've ever had.
Not only that, he'd bring new meaning to rock the vote.
Rock the vote, don't rock the boat.
Flipping in any way with my answer. Curiously, in the new show, The Young Rock, the show he's written and produced about his own life, news story from Celebrityville, from Crazyland. I'm accusing it of exploiting 16-year-old Claudia Conway for ratings. She's the daughter of former Donald Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway and and her attempt to emancipate herself from her parents. One journalist summed things up by tweeting, "The worst sort of exploitation." 2 words. Greta Thunberg.
Oh my gosh, that's
the worst
a great point.
Exploitation of a teenager. I want to be careful how I say this, but it appears some is maybe on the spectrum in some old ripping her out of school, flying her all over the world, and exploiting her for political purposes. And you want to talk about and look, I don't know. This may side it's on. I don't care if it's left, right, or center.
And her mom. I mean, they always butted heads. I mean, George.
Do you know anything about the Lincoln Project? Can you help us out here?
So I mean, you kind of put that on it, and you have a liberal dad, a conservative mom.
Lincoln Project was a group of anti-Trump Republicans, so they're mostly conservatives to varying degrees.
Well,
but I don't understand why is it exploitation? Like because she made it on American Idol?
No, because if you go back not long ago, there was a fight for emancipation.
on Twitter.
Desire to be emancipated.
The proclamation.
The proclamation of emancipation. Kellyanne Conway's daughter Claudia is pushing to be emancipated, or another, unfortunately, welcome to my life. Claudia's tweet came 24 hours before Kellyanne Conway announced via Twitter that she will be leaving her post as senior counselor to President Donald Trump. If we're being honest, Kellyanne, probably a good idea. Look, your husband is an anti-Trump Republican leading the Lincoln Project, and your wife is seeking to run away from home.
It's all got worse since then, too.
Your daughter. Let me tell you what Thanksgiving was like. Ready? There it was. Because there's other creations. You're a racist. Like, I mean, it's that ridiculous. And
Ask Donald to get them for you.
This whole thing, again, ought to prompt real soul searching amongst ABC executives.
Can we even hear if she was good? Like, I mean, maybe she's some phenomenal.
The reputation of two adults, their own view, like their own. I don't give a rip. If she wanted to sing on American, I'd enjoy it. I tell you what. If someone would like to force me on American.
Chronic fatigue, neuropathy, or joint pain. Call Madison Integrated Medicine, our traditional and natural medicine. Don't let the symptoms become over 50955. That's 3250955.
Karen's a quilter.
Karen's Quality Quilts. Quality custom quilts. Okay.
You need a website that can encompass the quality of your quilt.
I'm
asked. Web Underdog creates websites that don't just catch the eye, they catch that are affordable, professional, and specially made for your brand and visitors. Outside of contact Web Underdog for a free web design quote. Call 257 Web Underdog, your local web design and SEO agency.
You've been all up in the cookie dough. My cookie dough.
Okay.
Spill 12 delicious flavors in a cone, cup, milkshake.
Where is your haircut gone? We know you more than a haircut, but isn't it worth getting? And you remember that, right?
We go weekday mornings only on WVNN.
Do things with my hands that most men can't. I can't get ahead no matter how hard I try. I'm getting to the top of the hour. We're so thankful you've chosen to join us here each and every morning. They're going to be closed today, but I think, let me make sure that's right. But when they open back, you guys are Connor, Java. What do you love about Cookie Dough Magic, Connor? Tell me what you love. Do you have other shakes yet? That's next on my list. As soon as my 90 days is up, I'm going down there and I'm getting a jet to go and do that. We'll have John back on the show here before too long, because after all, is our official. The Cookie Dough Magic is 256-517-8210. If you're down, Hayden, there he is. He lives right over the top. Cookie Dough Magic. Just go knock on doors till you find one. If I had one thing, if you said to me, you can eat magic. Creature when discussing wives and relationships and but what on the spot? But what's the most annoying thing your wife does? That's called putting you on the spot, for the record.
Well, she's not up yet, so.
Oh, so you're solid. My wife's already texted me, so I'm hosed.
It's kind of like every time it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing it.
Welcome back to the military.
Logistics,
correct.
And then it's like I walk in the house and she's like, oh, hey,
get dressed.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing? And it's like,
oh, and we're leaving in 15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of
the most annoying habit of your spouse.
Well,
you better be
she
careful.
was stuck in the driveway.
You better be okay.
Anyway, she's unstuck now.
My wife's been
something she wants, so maybe she overreacts a little bit. Yeah. But she tries hard, so it's hard to say anything. Oh my goodness!
I'm just kidding. My wife is beautiful, by the way.
And I don't even know if I can follow that one. Good.
Well, and with that, we get an extra week.
Yeah. Turns out Ronald will be staying for one more week. His family's coming to Pigeon Forge in a couple weeks for a long, long time. She scared me a little bit as a child, but she. What you?
No, I don't. Well, yeah, in certain situations,
you're
I guess
a bit of a rebel.
Yeah, I'm definitely a rebel in many ways. But no, that's probably it. Just her sense.
I probably don't want to do this, considering she may not work today and I have to go home and see her. But let's call it like it is. The other day when I said we don't even we don't even lock the door at night before we go to bed. But like rarely do I lock my truck. We don't. I mean, like we've been every day when we go home that it's a pretty safe, like we live in Mayberry in a lot of ways, and there's no need to like, I mean, where we're at, like there's no need to like, and so look, I'm a talk show host, right? Like I tend to alliterate or exaggerate from time to time for the storytelling effect, and we'll be in a public situation, a world that could put up with me and do so with such grace and love. And so I very much love my wife. By no means am I, yeah, I pretty much just called her out. I'm probably not going to appreciate the fact that I did that, but it is what it is. Connor, do your parents have a pet peeve that drives?
I don't know.
Bring up a short list of 16 habits, including finishing people's sentences, leaving the tooth off the toilet, leave to its readers. After a playoff-style elimination, the final 4 included spitting, not replacing the toilet roll, B, chewing with your mouth open. There eating, and I can hear my wife. I mean, my wife's not. She's not doing that, but like her mouth is closed. But I can still like hear it. Mm-hmm. It drives me up.
That's the top pet peeve. Like, how many people chew with their mouth open? Like
a lot.
A lot.
People with bad parents.
Connor, I'm just kidding.
And speaking of
Hayden, what is your biggest pet peeve of your girlfriend that may be your girlfriend, may not be your girlfriend? You can't decide sometimes.
No pet peeve. She's perfect.
Hey, there he is. He may be frozen on your screen, but he is alive and well in your hearts. Some pet peeve, if you did that more than once, I'd slap you. If I lay down on my bed and it's wet, I'm going to be pissed. Either that or I'm going to shoot my dog because he did it. One of the two, right? No, I'm kidding. My dog's never peed on my bed. Nose picking. Anybody? Side boogers. They have like a salty taste.
Didn't we all?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, they're not terrible.
No.
I wonder, Connor, see if there's any nutritional value to a booger.
I'd rather not do that.
Can you look that up for me, please? I just want to know what the nutritional makeup.
But there is a nutritional value to it.
Yeah, I just want to know what the nutritional facts are.
1 calorie.
If they had a nutritional label on the back, I'd like to know what it says. Can you please look that up for us?
So was you eating boogers?
That U.S. Americans.
Oh, leaving crumbs in the bed? Oh, yeah, I can't. When you eat in the bed, you got to be cautious, okay? And you go to sleep, right? Cheez-Its in the bed? No go.
Nope.
Doritos in the bed? Not going to happen. Bugles? Anybody remember Bugles? Love me some Bugles. There's a new snack. They are fantastic. Double dipping? Is that I really could care less about double dipping. Couldn't care less about double dipping.
Mythbusters did a whole episode on double
degree. Truly, I mean that show was really good, by the way. And then
chewing with your mouth open.
Yes.
I mean, how do you
drink?
I don't
I'd
drink
never
milk.
do that.
What?
I don't drink milk.
You've never walked into the kitchen, flipped her open, grabbed the gallon of milk, tore that top off, and just absolutely got you a big old pull from the bottom. It's your house. I think that's kind of like it's like a badge of honor.
I did that growing up.
I did too, but I just did it when no one was looking.
I got the booger nutrition facts here.
Oh, do you?
Guys, 5 calories. Sodium content, 36 milligrams, 1.5%.
Wow, that's the salt I was talking about. There it is.
Here's the big one, guys. Calcium, 2%. So
whoa.
You need more.
We may be able to make a case for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Need more calcium in your diet. Just eat your boogers. So that's why I chew on them and then spit them out, because then you get the calcium. But
if you're, so gross. You know, instead of like sometimes when I need a little salt, I'll grab some sunflower seeds. You know, maybe I could just tear into that nose.
Well, I remember a joke back in the day where they said the Aggies form of dipping is just doing this.
Oh. This is Boomer and the Beard. What is 9866-866-494 WVNN? We'd love to hear from you. Boomer and the Beard. We'll be right back.
WVNN Athens, WVNN FM Trinity, a Cumulus station. It's 6 o'clock. News starts now.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Burning furniture to stay warm in Texas. That's what it's come to for some who have been without power for days. The lights and the heat out because of the state's overloaded power grid. Here's ABC's Kenneth Moden.
Governor Greg Abbott says power should be restored to 1 million homes by tonight, but more rolling blackouts are expected. Tammy Fairharbor outside Houston says she hasn't had power since Sunday.
We did flush the toilets. We can't wash our hands. We've been without water for more than 48 hours.
And now the weather threat is on the move, heading into the Northeast. The Carolinas bracing for ice, for Virginia to New England, snow.
Life expectancy in the U.S. has fallen significantly amid COVID times. The CDC's preliminary data shows the average lifespan of an American is now 77.8 years. It used to be 78.8 years. The keyest part of the mission when the rover enters Martian atmosphere.
We call it the 7 minutes of terror because it takes approximately 7 minutes for the spacecraft to make it from the top of the Martian atmosphere all by itself.
There has been speculation she might retire, but no announcement. Serena Williams, however, was emotional after losing to
get to this stage. What do you feel caused that? Or was it just one of those bad days at the office?
You're listening to ABC News.
Do you owe back taxes? Do you know that the government is giving away billions of dollars to help Americans with delinquent and unfiled? This is one of the most powerful collection agencies in the world. If you let things go, they'll have the power to take your paycheck, your house, and your freedom. If you owe the IRS more than settled with payments for a fraction of what I owed. If you owe more than $10,000, 800-687-9070. That's 800-687-9070.
They saved my life.
800-687-9070.
You go as hard as you can. And then it was like I stepped funny, you know? Mm-hmm. And I could barely walk on it.
Okay, let's take a look.
At Lang Chiropractic, focusing to improve your health and wellness in all areas of your life. Whether you're having trouble with back pain, neck pain, or just want to start feeling better when you wake up in the morning, Dr. David Lang is focused on a 56444-1600. That's 444-1600. At Lang Chiropractic on Highway 72 East in Athens in the Publix Shopping Center. Visit us online at langchiropracticcenter.com. Lang
Depend on it. Centered Talk Radio. If that don't fire you up, then your wood's wet. Now, it's time for your...
Right in the backstretch, hard days go into the inside. You're joining us each and every day on your favorite, the best, the smartest show in morning radio. Boomer in the Beard, broadcasting live from the Chick-fil-A hiring. Highway 31 South and on the Beltline. Chick-fil-A of Decatur is hiring and everything. They can work for it a little bit. Get them in there and get them a job. I had a job at Chick-fil-A, and it was full that they have chosen to partner with our show here. They believe what we believe. They love the Lord. They are great people. Mackenzie over there, fantastic. I look forward of. But right now, most importantly, they are hiring, and they need your son, your daughter, or yourself to go over there and process. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It's a fantastic place to work. They feed you well. They pay you well. They take great care of you. They teach you manners. A lot of 31 South and on the Beltline. They are waiting for your call. Hey! Talk to me. I'm too sexy. Yesterday, we did a heck of a workout. That workout was rough. It was brutal. I put it out on Facebook yesterday. If you're following for you real quick. The warm-up, 15 dumbbell lateral shoulder raise, 15 dumbbell upright rows, and 20 lunges. That was for 3 rounds. Circuit number 1, 21 reps, 15. You're going to take barbell. You're going to hang it at your, you're going to stand up and hang. You're going to hang clean it, and then you're going to push press it. And you're going to do that 20 sit-ups, 20 push-ups, 20 squats.
I would have made it through the warm.
It's a lot easier to do when you don't have any weight to push up, though. I mean, when you're only pushing up $1.25, it's a lot easier than pushing up almost third grade.
It's not my fault. Why you got to blame me for that?
So anyways, we did that workout yesterday. Today, I'm just to do, if you want to join first of all, you can work out with me for free anytime, 7:30 every morning except for today. I'm always up there. I started this new diet plan, right? And so I've been eating, and I'm going to share more about the diet plan next week with you guys, but it's very dependent on bars and shakes, and so you eat bars and shakes, and then you'll add a meal here and a meal there, and I'm burning 2,800 a day. So the deficit was pretty big, and over the last week I weighed yesterday, and I had not lost a pound. I lost 16 pounds in the first 2 weeks. Then I got on this diet, and I haven't lost a pound. So I was at my doctor for my normal checkup. I didn't go specifically for this, but I was talking to him about how I felt, and he was like, "Man, we need to check your ketone level." He was like, "Let's do a urinalysis from." Like, the keto diet's is fad and all that, not really a sustainable lifestyle diet, because if you truly get into ketosis, you are a miserable human being.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens is, enough calories throughout the day, my body went into like death mode. Like, my body was like, holy crap, I'm not getting nourished. I'm not getting fed. We need to hold on to everything we've got so that we can continue to function.
Right.
And so my body's been storing this fat. He was like, man, and you guys see me every day, so it's not as visible. But he was like, man, you look really different. And so it's working, and I'm losing inches. And everybody's like, well, muscle weighs more than fat, and are you doing heavy weights? No, we're not. We're not doing heavy weights. It's all been.
You're not.
But let's not act like you were tossing around. Total. Yeah, you weren't even tossing around 3 digits. So I mean,
Ronald was just on the bars.
No, he's actually an addict. We've talked about it 100 times, and Ty made reference to it earlier. Like addiction it's something that exists, not just this radio show, could very quickly become an addiction for me. And so I have to guard against that, because addiction also, in a lot of ways, means idol. And so you can very quickly begin to worship something and make that your addiction. You had a carbohydrate, and I was like, he was like, this is why you feel terrible.
When I picked my nose.
So we're going to make some adjustments. We're going to make some adjustments to the diet, and that should see a lot of change in my body. I felt we had some wings. Since you've been here, you've seen me eat nothing but bars, shakes, and a salad here, a salad there. And ultimately, I've got to fuel the amount if I wasn't working out at all, it would be working great. Like my body would have enough calories, energy, but we're burning 700-800 calories in a workout. So you've got to add to that calories. Your body, like everybody says, well, if you eat less calories than you burn, you're going to lose weight. Sure, in theory, but if I need for I'm not going to. At that point, your body is like a vehicle that's operating at high RPMs. It's going to consume a lot of gas, a lot of fuel, right? You put it in 4-wheel drive, your fuel consumption goes through the roof because all 4 wheels are spinning, right? So right now, I've got all 4 wheels spinning in my body all day, every day, because I haven't missed a day yet. I mean, I've gone really hard. I'm super proud. I feel great. But I mean, I made I don't know if Connor's ever seen me without a sweet tea cup I got a Yeti with a top that I carry everywhere. And so I literally stopped everything I was doing overnight.
Yeah.
And when you make those kinds of changing at too much of a deficit, which was creating a bad deal. So hopefully, I ate some wings yesterday. And again, they're not that unhealthy, and I tore them up, man. And I felt so much better. I did.
You did.
Trust me, I went to work on them. Let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll dive into some more of this. But yeah, you got to if you're working along with us at home, make sure that you're fueling properly and get some. He's helped me along the way, but make sure we're happy to help. I mean, between the 3 of us up here that actively, do that, we could probably help you out. Jonah can help point you to the white gravy and the chicken fried steak. So either way, we can help you out. Boomer and the Beard will be right back.
We know you don't get out as much. You don't drive by your regular Sport Clips and pop in for that MVP haircut experience that is so much more than a haircut. But isn't it worth? Man, you remember that, right? We found your haircut. It's right where you left it. Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy.
What's better than pizza? That's right, nothing. Well, maybe
assortment of toppings, thousands, with a side of wings. Hot ones.
Pizza. It's a beautiful thing and found all over the world. But for your slice of the pie here locally, you want to try Donato's Pizza in Madison. Enjoy our famous pizzas loaded with edge-to-edge toppings, 100 slices of pepperoni, the family recipe sausage, fresh Whopper subs, calzones, wings, and desserts. Don't keep eating those same old leftovers. Make tonight a Donato's night with Donato's Pizza on Madison Boulevard in Madison. Call 256-772-6789. That's 772-6789. And online at Donatos.com. Donatos Pizza, where every piece is important.
As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their life. This cotton called Giza cotton, it's incredibly soft, super breathable, extremely durable, 60-day money back, that same money back guarantee, that same 10-year warranty that you have on that MyPillow you love so much. The first night you sleep on the Giza sheets, you will never want anything else. Let me tell you something. My son, he's 4. He knows the difference. He knows the difference. Listen, you right now have a special offer. You will receive 2 for one low price and free shipping on the Giza Dream Sheets if you call 1-800-889-7318 or go to mypillow.com/radio specials. Use the promo code BEARD. Again, mypillow.com, radio specials, promo code BEARD.
WVNN.
17 minutes past the 6 o'clock hour. I am Zach Walker, your big, beautiful, bearded host. We are Boomer and the Beard. Joining me live, Ronald Gulick, Jonah, my man Ty with BeardedWarriors.org, producer Connor. Cue up a new song. So you got more to Right Fred said. Right said Fred. Yeah, there it is. That's a terrible name, by the way. Right said Fred.
But it's a great.
Right said Fred.
But it's a great song.
It is. You know why? I'm too sexy for my shirt. I'm lying. I'm not too sexy for my shirt. Y'all don't want to see me take my shirt off. I promise. It's like it's like I tell people, killer whales are still whales, but dang it, boy, they're athletic. That's how I feel every single day. So we've got care what you need for your house, whether it's Benjamin Moore Paints, DeWalt Tools, whether it's just you have some questions about a Pinterest project you need to do for your wife because your in-laws were in for the holidays and they didn't like your bathroom and you need to update it or whatever it is. For me, I've got a fan. I got a vent fan that I need to get fixed. I got to go see Mr. Purcell about getting me a new vent fan. But you guys need to go see Purcell Lumber and Millwork. They are on North Clinton Street in Athens. They are the only place we trust. They are the official provider of all materials. They also provide my business with our materials for our cabinets and our remodels. 256-232-6320. No rain, nor sleet, nor snow will keep them away, and boy, do they have some lumber. Man, they got some lumber. So go check them out. They got great prices. They got great customer service. They're at North Clinton Street here in Athens. Purcell Lumber at millshop.com. 256-232-6320. So, from the Ukraine, which is always a great way to segue into a story because you never know what you're going to talk about. I'm not sure whether this man is a genius or he's a lunatic, but a Ukrainian man, and this is very look, if you're in Athens this morning, don't think about doing this, okay? Don't think about doing this. A Ukrainian man reported a fictitious murder, hoping that Like,
who was the murder that he reported?
The man called on Saturday evening to tell them that he had killed his mother's partner by stabbing him in the chest.
Oh.
Then he also told the police that they would need a snowplow to reach him.
Every time I think about Eastern Europeans, all I can think about is how round their heads are.
It's like I just love how you tell a story and you can't even finish the punchline before you're the first one laughing. Like, yeah, you just tickle me, man. So this guy thought that he would get his street plowed. Unfortunately, a street plow was not required. They just took an SUV in there. They found out that he was lying, and they fined him $3.50 in euros, which is $4.30. So is the guy a genius or is he a madman? He spent $4.30 American to get a visit from the Popos and still didn't get his street plowed.
That's unbelievable. I mean, a plumber's going to charge you $75 just
to show up, just to look.
But like, what's the end game on that? Just to get the street plowed?
Street plowed, and it didn't even happen.
I feel like we would be fined more here. Like, what's the fine for reporting a fake crime?
Oh, you're going to jail.
Report. Yeah.
Just think if he'd have called the Jehovah's Witnesses, they'd have done anything to get to him. So
he just called the wrong people.
bunch of round-headed.
Speaking of being stabbed, here's a crazy story. So if you go to Sport Clips, this will not happen. Okay, so I would just stay away from Beacon Hill Barbershop and just go to Sport Clips. There's 5 locations for your hair cutting pleasure, and Scott Harper is one of the best people on the face of the planet. And so you guys can take solace in knowing your barber will not stab themselves at L on top of the scissors. Mr. Cohen said Silva was walking around the back of the chair. All of a sudden, he's on the floor saying, "Oh my goodness, I've stabbed myself, and it's wicked sharp."
How far into the cut was he?
Bro, the man had to have open heart surgery.
Oh, my goodness.
He pierced an artery in his chest.
He must have tripped on
hands. I guess this is the reason why.
That's why my mom always said, don't run around with a machete in your hand.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we call barbicide. See what I did there? Barbicide? Instead of suicide, barbicide. So he was emergency transported to the hospital for open-hearted surgery. So can someone look this up, Connor? Can you see if Mr. Steve Silva, see if he made it out okay? Yeah, he's a soft-hearted man. He's open-hearted. So
open-hearted,
broken-hearted.
Speaking of barbicide, too, that's the stuff they soak the stuff in, right? You know that up in Northern Virginia they have plaques that they are certified in barbicide now. because of coronavirus. Yes, it's a certification. Do y'all have that here?
Not. I don't know. Scott. I don't get and I'll pull this up. My business partner sent me some stuff last night, late in the night, that was terrifying. But whether we agree with this coronavirus thing or not, again, you know where I stand on it, and I've been pretty good. I've been pretty close to nailing it from the beginning of this thing. It's been the most politicized, political football. I mean, I think it was very much used to accomplish what they accomplished, which was ultimately modifying an election. But a lot of our small business owner friends and sponsors of this show in a fashion that requires or that allows people to have confidence and come back to the store. And so, as much as I don't necessarily think it's necessary, we certainly understand the need to do so. Connor, have you found out if Steve Silva was has he recovered okay? Is he making it?
This article, last it was updated, it looks like he's still in the hospital, but is no, he's been released.
Can you imagine how detailed that training is of barbicide? You open the lid, you put in the comb, you close the lid. I mean, what type of training goes into barbicide? It's just something you soak it in. I mean, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if a dude left the scissors in and then they took it out when he got there. Because that's one of the things where, like, if you pull it out
like a stick,
and it's in an artery, you're dead.
You're gonna bleed pretty quick. Yeah, you got to leave the impingement in there. Yeah, you got to leave it there, and they typically will transport you with the device in the artery because you got to plug the artery, right? And so we did a lot of training on that as a medic. I mean, you've been through those kill houses and packets, but still blood everywhere, and you go through these kill houses, and the whole point is, and it works from everything I've heard. Now, again, I've told you 100 times, and I don't ever want to be that guy that it alludes or whatever to the fact that I went overseas. I was not deployed. I did not get to deploy. I tried very, very much so, tried to deploy, was never allowed to do so because of my medical past. But the kill houses are designed to take the shock out of a mass casualty situation.
Yeah, one of our guys in the group actually travels to those. He's a amputee vet.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of vet.
Yeah,
He's active duty. He's active duty.
Yep.
But he goes up TDY for the training.
Absolutely.
To help the guys.
And they do that. They'll take these kill houses to simulate what happens if you lose a leg in a mass casualty situation. And arterial bleeds, man, there's nothing more deadly or dangerous than, honestly, blood loss. People think the bombs or the bullets are going to kill you. Typically, a gunshot that's through and through, you're going to be fine. Like through and through. Now, if it gets inside, bounces around, it's going to do some damage to, guess what, our soldiers overseas. And so, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Those kill houses are nuts. You think, and that's what I loved about being a medic, was I was always able to stay cool under, my job title here at Cotton Row is the Chief Chaos Officer. I love not chaotic environments, but I love the ability to actively problem solve and actively create. That's why talk radio is so much fun for me, because we don't do a ton of show prep, right? Like we've started doing more because we want to have these documents where we get all these stories and we know where we're going to go, sort of, but ultimately it's operating and thriving in these chaotic environments. And man, those kill houses are nuts. You go in there calm, cool, and collected, and nobody's hurt. Like, it's a fake deal, but dude, it is so real. Blood just everywhere. Blood and
so was they able?
Oh, well played. Yes, they were able to find. My head's pretty large, but it's not that big.
Thing is size 5-gallon bucket, I think.
Okay. Coming from pot meet kettle. I've seen your hat.
We had this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm a 16th size smaller.
Yeah, it is definitely. Yeah, they did. We were able to find one. Now those helmets are pretty. Well, I mean, we didn't have those like high speed. No. What you see in the movies, not what they give most of us. Okay, unless you were in some kind of special operations command. So listen, this segment's been brought to you by My Pillow, Mike Lindell, an American patriot, and I still have not taken the time to sit down and watch Hard Proof or Hard. Has anybody taken the 2 hours to watch that yet? I need to do that. But listen, you got to get deep discounts on everything site wide. Doesn't matter what it is. They've got a new. Ronald's been sleeping on a My Pillow all week.
Loved it. I've Yeah, I've been meaning to get one, but now that I've slept,
you're gonna
on
have
it,
no choice.
Yeah,
and MyPillow, and that's the truth. I bought my MyPillow myself before we were sponsored by the company, and so I was a customer first, and now I'm a brand ambassador, and so it's because of the quality product. Partnered with them again. All you need to do is go to mypillow.com/radio specials. Use promo code BEARD at checkout, and you'll get deep discounts on everything site wide. The $29 pillow sleeps on a MyPillow dog pillow, and you cannot get him off that thing. He's got 2 of them. They sent me a camo one, and I keep that one here at the office because Duke the radio pup, comes to work with me every day. And then at home, he sleeps on one of the big old MyPillows. The son of a gun. Between him and my son, join us, and we'll be right back.
And even our old farm co-host.
Boomer and the Beard. Boomer and the Beard.
Boomer and the Beard. This is News Talk 770.
Another frigid night in Texas for hundreds of thousands still without power and heat. Some have been in the cold and the dark since Sunday. ABC's Kenneth Moten.
55 inside the house with the fireplace going.
More than 2 million customers in the state without power overnight amid relentless winter storms and historically frigid temperatures.
It's believed the cold and icy weather in the region has claimed at least 30 lives. The House Financial Services Committee will today hold a hearing on the GameStop trading rover will land on the red planet this afternoon. Its mission, search for microbial forms of life. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
When people walk through our doors, they all see something different.
A treehouse.
Our dream home.
Our cabin in the woods. A new golf course community. When you have every conceivable building material imaginable in place, the possibilities are limitless.
Purcell Lumber and Mill Shop. Let us bring your home improvement project to life. The best products and more. Looking for something specific? Our friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to make sure you find the products you need to complete your home projects. Pay a visit today to Purcell Lumber and Mill Shop on Clinton Street in Athens and online at purcelllumberandmillshop.com. Or for questions, give us a call at 256. Specialists come to shop.
Made that wait even shorter. Now, with Sport Clips on Deck text alerts, when you check in online or with our app, we'll text you a 15-minute heads up when it's time to head in. And when you're the next man up, good to be a guy.
According to Politico, the politics of COVID-19 has reached a boiling point in California. It's not because Governor Newsom flaunted his own virus restrictions by attending an upscale party with his again flouting the travel rules they impose on everybody else. No, it's something more local. Screwel. Early on in the pandemic, Newsom and his Democrat schools are still shut down. Instead of being in class, most of the 6 million California school children are at home. Those who attend private schools, like Newsom's kids, they're back in the classroom. But other students, including most minority children, they've got segregation. It's inequality on parade. This is not what California stands for, they say. But their kids, their buddies, their special interests get the breaks. Everybody else gets broke, especially the minorities they claim to represent and care about. State-sanctioned segregation? Yep, exactly. Business as usual. Theft every 3 seconds. That means a cyber bad guy could be selling your personal info on the dark web without you even knowing it. That's just one form of identity theft. Now, you might miss certain threats to your identity by just relying on bank statements or monitoring your credit. The solution? LifeLock identity theft protection. LifeLock sees certain threats that you could miss on your own. Plus, if you become a victim of it, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock can help protect your personal information. Save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com using the promo code RUSH. Just go to LifeLock.com or call 800-440-4833 and enter the promo code RUSH. Promo code RUSH.
News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN.
Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right. And my radio up. Come on, here we go. Welcome back to Boomer and the Beard. It is 24 minutes to the top of the hour in the Dale Jackson Show. I'm Zach Walker, your big, beautiful. But be sure that you've gone to boomerandbeard.com. That's boomerandbeard. Spell out the word and.com. And subscribe to our podcast. Help us out here. We are actively working on growing our podcast listenership, and that's the number one way you can help the show. If you love the show, you want to see us continue to succeed and grow, that is what you need to do right there. Go to Boomer and Beard, spell out the word and make sure you guys are following along the podcast there. So, with him, NYC public schools ask parents to, quote, reflect on their whiteness. I think my view on this may surprise some people, but let's go ahead and talk through it here. A city public school principal officials confirmed to the Post on Tuesday. The woke offensive at Eastside Community School in Manhattan features a ranking list titled The 8 White Identities, which range from white supremacist to white abolitionist. So literally from I don't like black people to I want to terminate white people. Okay? Interesting. Curriculum written by Barner Hesse. He sounds like a real winner. An associate professor of African American Studies at Northwestern University in Illinois claims, quote, there is a regime of whiteness, and this segment in regards to your views on whiteness and your whiteness, it's about time we build an ethnography of whiteness, since white people have been the ones writing about and governing others, Hess adds. In between, the two desires non-whiteness because it's interesting. I would call that woke. And white privilege, or sympathetic to a set of issues but only privately, won't speak or act in solidarity publicly because benefiting through witness in public, some POC are in this category as well. So we've got white supremacist, white voyeurism, white privilege, white benefit, white confessional, white critical, white traitor, and white abolitionist. This is very interesting. Okay, so a Department of Education rep said in a statement, anti-racism and the celebration of diversity is at the core of our work. On behalf of the documented question was shared with the school by parents as a part of an ongoing anti-racist work in the school community and is one of many resources the school utilizes. Okay, let's break this down. White confessional is some exposure to whiteness takes place, but as a way of being accountable to POC after. POC meaning marking the white regime, refuses to be complicit with the regime. Whiteness speaking back to whiteness. White traitor is actively refuses complicity, names what's going on. Intention is to subvert white authority and tell the truth at whatever cost. Need them to dismantle, assert itself. Okay. Let me get. Well, we're going to be on this topic probably for the rest of the show. So this may be the last two segments of our show, and that's okay with me because this history, no doubt about it. There is, without question, a history of racism in this country that is disgraceful. That is probably the largest single blind spot outside of the Holocaust in human history. That it was allowed to go on, and even the church being complicit in the use of slaves and using the Bible to compel slaves to agree that white people need to be cognizant of the history of this country and of racism, as it is certainly still an issue in the country we live in. Okay, I think we can all agree with that statement.
So making a quick observation too, like this is one of the things that I don't like about whether it's CNN or Fox is it's the headline. The headline. Yeah. Sorry, goodness. That to me tells me that the entire New York City public school came out and said this. But when the first line of the article says a city public school principal,
sure.
So one person in one school did this. And so that's the first point that I'd like to make on
to see if he is even black or white, because
the guy that wrote the curriculum.
We don't even know who put this out.
I think that would be called white critical. That would be a level 6. A level 6 white would be that particular statement there. Level 6 white. It's like yeah, and you've got white people that hate themselves because they're white. And the reality is this. Let me break this down for you biblically, because ultimately that's the point of view. That's the only point of view that matters. There is one race. period. The human race. God created one race.
Yep.
Now, ethnicity was created. You can point to a very specific time, biblically speaking, when God, the Tower of Babel, right? So they wanted to build this tower to the sky so they could convene with the Lord on his level. They thought that as humans, they could put themselves on God's level. And God said, wow, there's too many of you in one place. We got to scatter you out. We got to get you guys.
Too much arrogance.
Yeah, that's right. We got too much pride because humans are prideful. Genetically, I mean, Ken Ham does a great study on this. He came to our church and did a thing a few years back, and it was unbelievable because he used a scientific DNA-based, genetic-based study to show how this all happens, right? So let's say everybody's white. Now we don't know what they were. They were probably middle of them and sent them to sub-Saharan Africa. He took some of them and sent them to Sweden, to the North Pole, to the wherever, right? So he spreads people out across the world. Do you think God, in all his wisdom, would take some lily white dude and send and sun exposure? No, the way that was developed was the level of melanin in one's skin, and so there is a legitimate response that then created ethnicity. So from this one point, God sent everybody out. That's right. God sent everybody out in their varying forms of whiteness or skin color, and from that there was a physiological, genetical response that God. The problem we're dealing with right now is whiteness is being we're literally being segregated. We're being segregated actively based on the color of our skin. We're going exactly backwards of the way we're supposed to be going, and I think I have the solution.
Boomer and the Beard.
For the days you need it most.
Don't stay in Huntsville. From our award-winning specialty coffee to our unique or dinner, you'll want to try our delicious waffles, wraps, stand with friends. We're the start and end point of your morning run. Stop by the Just Brewing soon at Just Love Madison on Hughes Road across from Madison City Hall. Just Love Coffee. Eat, drink, love.
I have sleep apnea and my machine isn't set up. It's the third time this week you've napped your baby, just not at work.
AeroCare specializes in all respiratory equipment. If you have sleep...
Are you tired? You suffer from chronic fatigue, neuropathy, or joint pain? Call Madison Integrated Medicine. Our traditional and natural medicine. Don't let the symptoms become overwhelming. Treat them preventatively with Madison Integrated Medicine on
Where is your haircut gone? We know you don't get out as much. You don't drive by your regular sport clips and pop in for that MV steam towel for your face, massaging shampoo that makes you melt into your seat. Oh man, you remember that, right? We fat
70 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN.
It don't matter if you're black or white. Come on. Welcome back to Boomer and the Beard. 12 minutes to the top of the hour. I am your big, beautiful bearded hostess at boomerandbeard.com. Spell out the word. And we are talking about whiteness. Your whiteness, son. He said, the headline, a little misleading here. A school district in New York sent something out that said white people need to evaluate their amongst everywhere. Just, hey, you're going to go to the ends of the earth and you're all going to. And so now our melanin is starting to change, right? And so people are starting to look different. From that, each people group started to take and look, certain I watched a documentary on these a Mexican tribe that they run everywhere. They build their own running sandals from tire treads, and they are the best ultra marathon runners in the world. And they run in like a dress. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But these people, in the context of their life, they became fantastic marathon runners. So, you could say they're born to run, and they are. Why? Because that's the way they changed and developed over time based on, hey, they started, you know what? They were just like us at one point. And then we all got sent to our different parts of the world or Earth. Fat. Hobbits, habbies and hobbits, and golly, habits and hobbies and physiological responses to the environment that surrounds them, right? So we are all one. Correct.
Our bodies evolve.
Evolve.
Yes. So
the word evolve doesn't mean Big Bang, Monkey Man, all that stuff, right? It means that literally you changed based on the surroundings, and so here we are in the right as if it's a bad thing, and we all need to apologize for our whiteness. And so let me be the first to say, on behalf of white people, what happened to black people in America 200 years ago, 100 years ago, however many years ago it was, were absolutely in Alabama and just a few miles to the west of here. We picked cotton with people of color. Now, we were free, right? Slaves, not white people, wealthy people.
Yeah.
Now, were they white? Sure. Was it racist? Sure. Was it wrong? Without question.
Did a lot of
question.
Sure.
But to get to this point where literally, if you look at the eight white identities, as Barner Hess calls it, the language that's used, the word regime used over and over and over. I mean, complicity. You're complicit in a murder. You're between black people and white people. Let me tell you what's happening here. We are being segregated and separated so that those in power, everybody talks about speaking truth to power. You want to speak tear the pants off of everybody in power. If black people and white people came together, if Republicans and Democrats came together and said, you know what, we have our differences, but we all want what's better for mankind. I'm willing to give you a little bit on the stance on where life begins. I won't, because biblically I am convicted that that is God's standard for life, because that's not the way our freaking country's set up. But if we would come together for just a moment, black, white, yellow, green, does not matter. And we would say, you know what happened was a disgrace. And we can't ever let it happen again. But there are a lot of white people, myself included. I know to a lot of you that listen, I'm just some dumb redneck honky that hates black people because I'm conservative and I voted for Trump. I get it. But that in and of itself is the very stereotypical guns. He drives a 4-wheel drive truck and he voted for Trump. Might as well be a slave master. That is racism.
Don't you think that, like, in many ways, though, that many people are in that position? It's just they're not the Jews. Like my business partner up in Northern Virginia is way more liberal. That's not accurate. He's more liberal than I am. He leans to the liberal side. Right. And I lean conservative, but we have great conversations and we always come to, fortunately, that's just not the way that our media is set up. That's not the way that this guy is writing his piece. Like, I don't think that this guy specifically, sought out to write, probably came at this like thinking he was going to solve some sort of problems, but he just
that's giving people too much credit, man. We live in a world the world we live in right now is look, you just said it. Every headline, every journalist, teachers have taken it upon themselves to become propagandists for the state.
But I
he's in a higher
evolution.
Sure.
Like, he got to that point from years of continuing to think this way. And, and my wife right now, like, I mean, when you go to COVID, like, I mean, she's concerned to go back. Not been, in this.
A young black
area.
man that works for me and I had a very good conversation. He's probably in his mid-20s, okay, and he is from the hood, Alabama. Your parents make $75,000 a year, and you drive a Prius. Like, you're not from the hood, bro.
What's wrong with a Prius?
Stop. Nothing except for a hard day in your life compared to what a lot of these people that like you said, surroundings make a man, right? Like how you were. So let me say,
and very few people in America have ever been a slave either.
Correct. And so Baron Hess, in his writing of this, let's assume for a moment that you're right. How did he get there? I'll tell you how he got there. For years and years and years and years and years, black people have been convinced by white Democrats that they are not equal, that they are not of value, and that they need the government's assistance to get anything done in their life. They need help because they're black, and black means you're unequal. And they're convinced of that because white Democrats say so. Black Lives Matter. Anybody follow that money? See where it went? Let me help you out. Hey, for those of you in the back, listen up. White Democrats.
True stuff.
Every dollar that was raised by BLM went to fund the campaign of white, rich, elitist, upper-class white men, slave owners.
True.
Slave owners. It is a modern-day plantation. They have convinced African Americans and poor people alike. It doesn't matter race at that point. It's poverty at that point, right? Mm-hmm. So they have convinced people in poverty that they need the government's help to get by. The reality is we had a black president. You can pull yourself up by your bootstrap. We all have challenges. Is it easier for a white man or a black man? I don't know. I will say this. And in talking to, and I have sought out this. This is something that is on my heart heavy because I want to understand it. I do want to understand whiteness. I do want to understand. I'll say it this way. I've grown up in the majority my entire life. I use this analogy all the time. Gabe Ross at Life Point Church said it in a sermon, and it blew my mind. He said, you grew up right-handed. You've never been a lefty. You don't know what it's like to be in middle school or elementary school. All the desks are set up for right-handed people. All the scissors are right-handed. Everything is set up for right-handed people. So as a lefty, if you're a right-handed person, you'll never know what it's like to be a left-handed person. It's different. It's difficult. It's hard. So I'm not going to act like I know what it's like to be black. I don't. But I am a white man who loves black people. I love yellow people. I love green people. And I dislike people that are intellectually dishonest and bankrupt. But I'm willing to have this conversation if someone's willing to come to the table and say, you know what, let's operate with a plan to move forward, not a plan to harp on the past. Yesterday, in a subcommittee of our freaking government, we had a conversation about reparations, real money reparations.
Yeah.
Like, that is not helping anybody or anything. All we're doing is harping on the past, and that's the reason why Barron wrote this article, wrote this paper.
So before we go, can we talk about, I learned a new word on this list. Second from the left, voyeurism.
You didn't know what voyeurism is?
I've never even heard that word before in my life.
You got to be really careful here if you don't know what that is.
I've never heard voyeur.
Don't look that up.
I would recommend you not Google that.
Okay.
Don't Google that in any capacity. It's in this context.
Layman's terms.
Yeah, in this context, it means Connor. Look up voyeur as the actual Webster definition. Just don't type it into certain searches, but just the word voyeur, what the definition is, word for word here.
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, as long as yes. I mean, in the context of this.
Oh, okay, hang on.
And we're running out of time here, but voyeurism is, I'm trying to figure out the best.
person who enjoys seeing pain or distress of others.
There you go. So this white voyeurism would mean you enjoy seeing the pain or displeasure of black people because you're white. So that's voyeurism. So ultimately, this is a conversation that needed more than 10 minutes, and I'm sorry that we have to cut this short. We could pick up on it tomorrow. We'd love to hear from you guys. Make sure you're at boomerandbeard.com. The whole team is here tomorrow. You'll have us till 8 o'clock. For now, enjoy the Dale Jackson Show. We love you. Have a great day.